I would do a little spiel, go to commercial, then we'll get CJ on the phone.
Okay. Okay. And welcome to the Anthony Joseph Sports Show, as I'm live at Jimmy's Grill in Bridgeville. And coming up on this program, we're going to have CJ Faison call in. And he made his debut at the Monster Mile in the Camping World Truck Series. And he's going to have his second Camping World Truck Series race, this time on Thursday night in Kentucky at Kentucky Motor Speedway. And he's really excited, and I'm excited to interview him because he's a local guy. He's from Seaford, and now he's in, I think, Mooresville, North Carolina, making his home, but he's doing really well. Started out in the KN East series, and now moving up, and he has aspirations of one day making it to the big show and running in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. We're going to take our first commercial break, as coming up, CJ Faison. Testing 1, 2, testing.
Yep, I got you.
Okay. All right. Tell them we'll be back in 35 seconds.
30 seconds?
Yep.
Okay. We'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay.
$15.
15 seconds, CJ.
Okay.
Five, four, three, two, one.
And welcome back to the Anthony Joseph Sports Show. Now I'd like to welcome in my special guest, NASCAR driver CJ Faison. Thanks to CJ for taking the time.
Not a problem. That's the show.
CJ, you're going to make your second start in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Kentucky Motor Speedway for Bobby Dotter. When you found out, what was your reaction to that?
Well, it was definitely an honor for him to ask me to drive the 81 because that's the primary truck. So the 07 truck that I drove at Dover was just, the backup truck. It was actually a starting part truck, so it doesn't get ran that much. And for us to do as well as we did, I think that was great. And for Bobby to call me and ask me to drive an 81, which is his primary deal, was just not only a blessing, but a big honor, and shows a lot of faith he has in me to keep the truck up there in points and to carry on the 300 start, which is historical in the truck series. So it's one of the longest streaks of consecutive starts in the truck series for Bobby Dotter. So it was really cool to be a part of that for sure.
What have you learned in the K&N Pro Series East that you can apply to the Camping World Truck Series?
Mainly just experience. That's about it. The driving style that you have to have between the two is totally different. Like the K&N car, you don't have as much grip and not as much downforce, and the truck's the exact opposite of that. It's got a ton of downforce and a ton of grip. So it makes it a lot different to drive. I've never been on the Kentucky Motor Speedway before, but I'm really looking forward to that and learning not only the track but a new craft of truck racing at higher speeds. And today I spent half of my day just going around and getting advice from different people about Kentucky, what I need to know, all the basics that I need to know about aerodynamics and stuff like that. It gets harder as you move up to these bigger tracks. There's a lot more to learn, and it's just all part of the deal, so I'm excited to learn more.
You made your debut in the Camping World Truck Series at the Monster Mile. You're from Seaford, Delaware. How special was it to make your debut at Dover Speedway?
It was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to do it anywhere else, really. It was good because I had a lot of fan support from not only friends and family, but people just around the area that might not have heard of me until now. They've got it down pat, and they're starting to support me now. So it's pretty cool to have all the locals support me there, and that's the cool thing about the Dover race was everyone was there watching, and the support was all there. It made me feel really good going out there on the track, knowing that you had a lot of people out there cheering you on and rooting for you. So like I said, I wouldn't have won my debut to be anywhere else but Dover. So it worked out really good.
Some of your competitors, the Phenom Chase Elliott, Ty Dillon, also Martin Truex's younger brother, Ryan Truex. What was it like to face some excellent competition?
Well, I think the coolest thing about the whole deal is I got to go up against names, like you said, Chase Elliott, Ryan Truex, people like that. And, I'm friends with most all of them. But, one thing I am proud of is that, not in any disrespect at all to those guys, but I didn't make it to where I am because of my last name. I made it there because of my talents and hard work and dedication from sponsors, friends, and family. So it made it that much sweeter to go out there and to be racing side by side against those guys. And although I'm great friends with most of them out there, it was a really special moment, and I was basically an underdog coming into the sport of, truck racing, which is, one of the top three tiers of racing in all the world. It was a special feeling. It really was, and I couldn't have traded that moment in for nothing else in my life.
One elder statesman in the Camping World Truck Series, Todd Bodine, if you could ask him one question, what would it be?
I'd ask him what mistakes he made in his career and what good things he did in his career to help him further progress. That's the biggest thing, is learning from other people's mistakes in, not only the race industry but in life as well. I mean, if you don't learn from your mistakes or other people's mistakes and, ask questions all the time, then you're never going to progress and, advance in your career. So that's where I think, I would ask any other driver that's made it like Todd Bodine, what would you have changed? What would you have done better or worse? And I think that's really the main deal. You know what I mean?
At Kentucky Speedway, how will the setup of the truck compare to the setup at the Monster Mile? How will it be different?
It'll be totally different, to be honest with you. We've got a truck that has a downforce package on it, which, not only the body change, you've got a little bit different body on there, but not too big of a deal. As far as setup-wise and geometry under the hood, totally different. I'm going to have to really get used to that. Like I said, jumping into the truck series is not something that you can, go into overnight and win the race and, go out there and expect to win, I guess you'd say. But I do expect to, have a top 20 finish. But, like I said, you just got to learn the truck and learn what it'll give you and what you can get out of it for race day.
What's going to be the biggest challenge, do you think, at Kentucky Motor Speedway?
The biggest challenge is going to be, aerodynamics and, some of the driving techniques that I have to learn between now and then. One of the biggest deals I think that I'm going to have to get over is rolling, not all the way letting off the gas in the corner, because it's a really high-speed track where you don't really have a lot of time to let off the gas or else you get ran over. So you almost hold it wide open the whole way around the track, which is going to be a lot of fun. But just figuring out the line around there is probably going to be the hardest part. That's what most of the drivers have told me so far. But, like I said, I've got people like Matt Kraft and, Johnny Salter, people like that I can lean on. That Timothy Peters, he's a great one. He helped me around Dover, a tremendous help. So hopefully I'll be able to lean on him as well.
Now, CJ, you're from Seaford. Now you're living in North Carolina. What has been the biggest transition?
The biggest transition is really living on my own and, managing your life, I guess you would say. Being down here in North Carolina is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Although I do love Delaware, I couldn't picture myself ever living anywhere but North Carolina now. It's racing everywhere, and like I said, I live on my own, which is really cool. I mean, I graduated high school early so I could move down to North Carolina when I was 18 and, further pursue my racing career. So that's been a tremendous help, having my parents and teacher support behind me to help me graduate early and get down there and, chase the dream that every race car driver has, So it's pretty cool. But like I said, living on your own is totally different. You got to manage your own money and, really a lot of responsibility, cutting your grass, all that kind of stuff. The little things that you don't think of as you're living at home with your parents, it really wakens you up when you're on your own. I've been on my own for over a year now, so I'm well acclimated to it now, and I love it. I really do.
What is the one thing that you miss about Delaware?
One thing I do miss about Delaware is friends and family, and also the beach. Although I do live on Lake Norman down here in North Carolina, it's just something about that beach atmosphere that's just totally different from being here on the lake. But, although I do love the lake a lot, I like to come back and visit Ocean City. That's probably one of my favorite spots to come back and visit around the Eastern Shore. It's just a cool area to be in. You can go from the countryside of, Delaware to the beach within 20 minutes. So it's awesome. It's something that I'll never forget and I'll always come back to and have a lot of fun with.
Now, CJ, you recently participated in the National Kidney Foundation Walk. How was that experience?
It was cool. My friend Mallory Langford and I, she actually mentioned it to me and, got me involved in it. And I think it's great. The National Kidney Foundation is, something I never really, you don't really realize how many foundations are out there until you start participating in some and hear about it. And just to hear people's stories about kidney transplants and kidney failures, and how it's affected not only them but the people around them, like friends and family. It hit home and just really opened your eyes up to all the people out there that you might not hear of, and it was great. I volunteered and just helped out as much as I could. I didn't participate in the actual walk, but I was a volunteer there, helping get some of the silent auction things done and helping really promote the event. So it was a lot of fun.
Now, CJ, how many additional races will you be driving in the Camping World Truck Series?
Right now, that's kind of to be determined as of right now. I do plan on running Texas. I think that's in November at some point. I think it's November 2nd, if I believe right. And that's going to be a good race to go to. And that's basically, I got to run that to get my approval for Daytona next year. And, of course, I'm searching for a ride right now to have a full-time deal next year in the Truck Series. Hopefully that'll go through. That'd be great. So we're kind of weighing our options around right now, but this year is to mainly focus on getting my approval from NASCAR to run the bigger tracks. So that way, if opportunity does come about, that I'm ready and I'm prepared for it, and I'm approved.
What is the process like to get a sponsor, a NASCAR sponsor?
It's very hard, actually. To believe it or not, I mean, we work on that on a daily basis, and to get a sponsor is few and far between now. But what I realize, but I guess not very many people do. What I realize is it's more about what I can do for the sponsor than it is what the sponsor can do for me. A lot of sponsors out there, we try to put together a program with them to, whether or not we're handing out coupons or doing certain little things like that to help drum up business for them. And, that's what it's all about. It's promoting your sponsor and giving back to them more than what they give to you. That's the biggest case in racing right now.
CJ, what's your timetable on one day of making it to the big show and running in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series?
I'd hope to say as soon as possible. You know what I mean? But that's not in my control. That's all God's plan there. I would obviously love to be running Sprint Cup in 2 years. But, if that's possible, then that would be awesome. But if, that's not in the cards, then I understand that, and I'm just going to keep working diligently towards that goal. And I really do think that, the harder you work and the more you're out there pushing and promoting yourself and your sponsors, the easier it'll come. I hate to say it, but a lot of drivers down here are very complacent and don't appreciate the opportunity that they get. So, like I said, with Bobby Dotter, I appreciate the opportunity very much. And, to show my, I guess you say, thankfulness to him and the crew for all the hard work that they put in. I'm going to actually, when we get back from Kentucky on Friday, I'm going to start setting up my house and whatnot. I'm going to have a little bit of a get-together out there Saturday for them. We're going to play on the lake a little bit and just, a thank you to them for all the hard work and the opportunity that they've given me. So it's all about giving back, and that's what I'm a firm believer in. So that's what we'll do.
CJ, who is your favorite NASCAR driver?
As much as this is a controversial decision, it has to be Kyle Busch. Whether you love him, you hate him, the guy can absolutely drive the wheels off of a race car, and anybody that denies that does not know a thing about racing. I mean, the guy is just out there hanging it loose every single lap on the edge, and that's why he wins so many races. Not only does he give it his all every race, but he knows a lot about the cars, and that's what helps him so much. And that's what I try to do myself. I'm in the shop every morning at 6:30 a.m., helping work on the cars, getting them set up and getting them built. So I hope to one day become like Kyle Busch, and the attitude adjustment, is a little bit different. He's very, very passionate about what he does, and it's just he's a different type of person than everybody else, but in a good way. And that's why he's winning so many races.
Have you been able to meet Kyle Busch yet?
No, I have not. I'd absolutely love to meet him in person. He's one of the drivers that I haven't met. But I'm sure if I could talk to him, he would give me some great advice of what he did. And like I said, I'd ask a bunch of questions, and hopefully it'd help my career out as well.
Because he won the first Sprint Cup Series race at Kentucky Motor Speedway. CJ,
What do you say now?
before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, everybody for listening here on the radio, here on CatchItLive.com. I can't thank everybody enough for tuning in, and you all having me on the show. It means a lot to have a Delaware-based program really take a toll and look at me. So I think it's really awesome to be on the show, and maybe one day I can come in the studio and do it live with you all there.
That would be great. Really appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
And once again, NASCAR driver CJ Faison. We're going to take another commercial break as we're live at Jimmy's Grill in Bridgeville.
Good job, Anthony.
And welcome back to the Anthony Joseph Sports Show, live at Jimmy's Grill in Bridgeville. And I'd like to thank once again CJ Faison for taking the time, a local guy from Seaford, Delaware, and wish him the best. Now, coming up on Catch It Live, just starts in a matter of minutes, the Spinning Wheels Racing Report, as we're going to also discuss the NBA Draft and also the Miss Delaware Classic, Miss Delaware Organization sports show that we did yesterday live in Milford. We're all out of time. I've got to cut this short. Make sure you join me every Tuesday at 5:30 live on CatchItLive.com. So long, everybody.